And we're live.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Blood on the Bayou, the Vampire the Masquerade Chronicle. We're running here on Final Show Films. My name is Julia, and I will be your storyteller for the evening. We will go ahead and start our introductions tonight with Katie.
Hi, I'm Katie. I'm playing Mercy Ransom, who is a of the Toreador clan.
The T clan.
Drevian.
I'm playing Simon DeLuca, a Malkavian lunatic tailor.
And Shawnee.
Hi, I'm Shawnee, and I'm playing Guaya Vincente, the Asimite sorceress.
And Jeremy.
Hi, I am Jeremy. I am playing Catriona Giovanni of Clan Giovanni.
Because it's on the tin.
Because it's on the tin.
All right. And as always, Black Lives Matter, trans rights are human rights. Eat the rich.
Yep.
Nom nom.
Anything else anybody wants to add to that?
I don't think it's anything recent.
Fuck the Supreme Court because women are being hospitalized and dying right now.
Court.
Always.
Stay safe. Have a fire extinguisher nearby.
Screw thoughts and prayers. We need action on gun control.
Yep.
Yes. Everything is true. So, when last we left off, Kat and Simon did a little bit more digging into Alex Richards having access to his driver's license after investigating the body, and discovered that he had left behind a wife and child not too far from Kat's own home. Meanwhile, Guayar dispatched and fed upon a proselytizing member of the church who became aggressive towards her. Mercy and Guayar received phone calls or text messages from the rest of the coterie to inform them where they were and that they had, in fact, found the home of Alex Richards. They were quickly joined. A number of lies were told to the wife to appease her, as it were. And the group decided that it would be best for them to venture to Elysium to see if they could find a little more information on our two possible Sabbat suspects. Upon arriving, after a little cajoling of the keeper of Elysium, Alexander Ward, the group met with Charlotte Jane, our harpy, and Simone LaRue, the Prince of New Orleans. After a brief discussion, the coterie was given free roam of Elysium for the evening, while Charlotte did some rounds and informed the coterie later that the two individuals they were looking for were none other than Irene Moretti, the former harpy, and Marquez Moore, a former member of one of Destiny's security squads. Simon had a quick discussion with the Malkavian primogen, Jonathan Kellerman, and was given a vaguely threatening prophecy about him and the rest of the members of his coterie, along with a fifth individual who has yet to be seen or named. Surmising at best that they put as much distance as they could between themselves and the prince before sunup, the group decided to have an impromptu slumber party at Guayar's house in the Bayou. At which, upon arriving, they discovered a small present that had been left for Guayar, a devil figurine with a note reading, "We have been watching," which is where we will pick up for the evening, with Guayar describing her domain.
So, the little shack on the bayou looks like it's been there since the Civil War. It, in fact, almost certainly has. Is a very old, small wooden shack, maybe 4 rooms to it, that it sits off of any of the main roads that travel through the bayou, a good distance into the woods and swamp, and is surrounded on all sides by thick vegetation and marshland. And the entire atmosphere is decidedly intended to give off the air of the traditional New Orleans witch doctor. that sort of lives out in the swamp. The windows are heavily blacked out. The door is well up kept, and there are no lights on at the moment. As Guire sort of picks up the present out of the box and starts to make her way up the stairs, they creak dramatically, but not structurally. They very obviously are creaking for effect as she steps up to the door and opens it, revealing a dark interior. Well, shall we?
All I can imagine is 140 years ago. Guire's like, yes, when you're doing the stairs, leave the nails a little bit loose. I want it to creak forever, okay?
Basically.
Of course.
She steps in, reaches off to one side, and turns on a light. As even if the house is ancient, it's been updated as need be over the centuries. The interior is mostly wood in all respects, but there is like soft carpeting placed down, a few chairs and benches set in different places. There's a bedroom that has a bed that doesn't look like it's been used in a very long time. And a variety of different occult accoutrement sort of sitting either on walls or on tables designed to further the like supernatural vibe that Guire gives off to any mundanes who end up visiting her at night. There is a good old fashioned crystal ball sitting on one end table. A variety of different implements, more than one like incense burner, variety of different just mood setting implements, basically. And she walks over to the door to the bedroom and sort of looks into it. If any of you feel like staying on the surface, that's perfectly fine. However, also, she walks over and pulls up a floorboard in the bedroom, which leads to, because the fact that the house is elevated off of the ground a bit by those steps means that there is a full like underground cavity underneath the floor of the bedroom, which is where she actually sleeps during the day to better hide herself from anyone trying to enter.
Can't have those wily gators accidentally breaking a window.
Would not be surprised.
Fire, I like the vibe. You've redecorated a little since I've been here last.
Well, whenever anybody comes to visit the Devil in New Orleans for magic or advice or some kind of information, I like to keep up appearances.
I get it. I love it.
Whatever you just said did not come through, Jeremy.
Not bad, not bad.
I said, there's compartments underneath most of the rooms if you want to pick a different area to sleep for the night, or if you want to sleep in the building itself.
You know, I think I might be a lot more comfortable in one of the compartments. Would you show me, please?
And yeah, she'll walk through each room, and basically at a far corner of every room there is a loose board that can be lifted to open up basically a upholstered crawl space underneath each floor, basically, because the entire house is elevated several feet. And so under each room there is a well weather sealed and upholstered basically crawl space under every single room.
Nice and cozy. Mercy will take one of the corners.
Yeah, no. Cat has no real issue with like she will happily crawl under into the muck or whatever.
There's no muck. It's definitely sealed. Like it's basically each
I
of these
mean-
has a very small basement.
It's a story and a half house, except the half is below now.
Yeah. That's why
Cool.
there are steps to get up to the house because it's elevated enough for the basement, basically.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Because you can't actually dig underground in a bayou because there's a swamp there.
Also, we're in Louisiana.
Yep. Basements
Like
are not a thing in the state of Louisiana.
It could be done if you have the money.
Yeah.
Mm,
Was
it's just
that
worth it.
just to be sure? Was that package you saw? Was that anything to be concerned about?
I'm not quite sure, she says, holding up the devil statue. The fact that it's identifying me as the devil means that it could be anything from just a local religious group trying to scare me off, or anybody who actually knows my reputation, but somebody left a message. I've gotten a few of these over the years. Whether or not they're anything to actually worry about is something that'll only be able to be told once we find out more about them.
Mind if I take a look at it?
If you like. She hands it over.
Simon will give it a look over. Look at its construction and materials.
Give me a wits and crafts roll at diff 7 because it's not your specialty.
You mean this thing isn't sewn together?
No.
I'm looking over the shoulder. I'm
What's in
curious about
crafts?
if it has any
A success.
potential supernatural tracking abilities, things like that. If there's anything traditional woven into it or the like, that might indicate.
Mm. Roll me wits and occult to difficulty 6.
Okay. Have this die pull in yet? All right.
So Simon has a 1 success on
Okay.
his
So,
look over.
and he's just trying to identify exactly what are you trying to figure out about it.
Just like any particular materials, if they'd have any significant meaning, if its construction method is significant.
Just seems to be a wooden figure. It does appear hand carved, so it does not look like something that. It could be something that was bought out of a knickknack shop here. It could be something handmade. Kat, as for you, 4 successes. Damn. She's good at what she does.
Yep.
Outside of the normal things that would like come to mind of voodoo dolls or just tokens that are given, it does not appear like it could be anything that could be used to track or anything that has a specific occult significance.
Okay, cool.
It's not offhand a puppet or an effigy of some
No.
variety.
For all I know, it could have been a gift from the local Tremere.
After that display in Elysium, that would be quite believable. Although I'm surprised. No, I shouldn't say I'm not surprised it's broken in half. That'd probably be a brouhaha.
All right. Well, I mean, I'm not going to lie. I'm a little bit concerned that shortly after we begin looking into the Sabbat, you get a little hello.
I mean, you say shortly after. When was the last time you got? Because you commented that they occasionally pop up. When was the last one?
Oh, every so often. It can be anything from years to decades sometimes. Someone decides they're going to get it in their head to try and drive out the devil of New Orleans. It all ends the same way. I'm still here after 200 years.
Ever know who it was, or has it always been anonymous?
It's usually anonymous. People aren't proud of the things they do in the dark. They like to be hidden. When I find out who they are, that's usually when they have to either leave or don't get a choice.
I
Fair
can
enough.
relate. Well, fair enough. Let's go ahead.
Simon will go to hand it back.
He'll take it and take the note and just kind of shred it, and but the statue she'll just put on a shelf as a knickknack. Add it to the ambiance.
Well, assuming then that people are not imminently going to recreate a home invasion film and try to murder us all in our sleep, I think it's probably best, unless anybody has something to do.
I got a little thing to pull off, but that's just something that'll make sure that that particular concern won't have to be one of yours. She says.
Simon will try looking out a window, or like, can they be seen through?
No, they're heavy blacked out.
Okay.
There's boards on the inside and then blackout curtains over the boards.
Okay. Well, I can't look outside, but I don't tend to sleep much. So I'm also, if it's a vampire, if it's a kindred that tries to come after us, it would have to be in the middle of the day somehow.
I mean, ghouls are a thing.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I might need to acquire one at some point to try and manage this place during the day. It's been a long time since I've had a ghoul.
Very useful that way. The family tends to use them quite a bit where I'm from.
People are also happy enough to just be paid.
Well, yes, but when you practice the particular arts that our devilish friend and I tend to practice, normal people don't necessarily take well to that.
Fair. Mine just take orders and sew clothes,
Yes,
not playing with dead bodies.
Indeed.
Performing blood magic rituals does tend to raise the hairs on the back of the neck for any kind nearby.
Little bit. It's one masquerade breach we as a clan would rather not deal with. Regardless. I will then go to rest and I bid you all adieu.
Speaking of which, and Guire will head to her room and begin performing Wake with Evening's Freshness before going to sleep.
Okay. All right. So your group goes to slumber for the day.
Simon does stay up a bit and just listening, I suppose, making sure there's no obvious issues.
Jeremy, do you recall, do rituals require a blood point, or are they just things that you do?
Not unless they say they do, as a rule.
Cool.
There are some that absolutely do, and then there are some that No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I think some rituals will say they require a blood cost, but I don't
Correct.
think they do by default.
I know paths
Yeah, like using the actual path
Off.
powers do.
often do. They don't always. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like activating thaumaturgy requires a blood point usually.
Yep. But yeah, most rituals will not, or will be very,
Or will
clear
tell you
about it.
specifically if they do. Yeah.
So you successfully cast Wake with Evening's Freshness.
Which I have put the location of where it's at on the book on each of the rolls so you can look at it.
Yes, I appreciate that. Okay. So the day passes without any interruptions outside of local flora and fauna that might pass by, though some of you prevent that just by existing. And the sun sets on New Orleans for the second night of our game. And you all regain a willpower point and lose a blood point.
Yep.
Because you got to activate your body and make it move for yourself to wake up. That's at least always been my justification for the loss of blood point.
You have to rouse yourself in the evening.
Gotta get that blood moving. Even if it might not be yours, gotta get it moving.
Everybody roll
There's the
me a d10. We're just going to see who wakes up first.
How does waking up work? Because Simon
Yeah,
specifically
that
has
hits.
Simon specifically has a merit.
Early riser.
Yeah.
Okay, so I believe, Guire, do you have early riser as well?
I have the exact opposite actually. I have
Oh,
deep
yes.
sleeper. Which, well, to be fair, deep sleeper is just it's more difficult to awaken during the day.
Yeah.
To
You
force
wake up
yourself
normally
during
at
the day.
night.
But you wake up as normal during the night, which is part of why I have wake with evening's freshness, because that just completely overrides that if something triggers me.
Katie,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm working on it.
that's okay.
Is backslash.
You can
Flash
so
roll 1d10, or
up
you can
in
just
the
click
upper
thing
left hand corner. There's that little toolbar. The
Oh, there.
second
Oh,
from the
hi.
bottom is a little die, and you can just click D10.
Look at that.
Yep, that works as well.
It's like I'm not entirely sure how the wake up thing works, because it's like it treats your humanity or path score as a 10 for deciding when you rise each evening.
So yeah, you're up fairly early.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you probably, even with Guire's 10, and you rolled a 9 anyway, so you probably would have been up at least a half hour before Guire. Is there anything you would have done, Simon, in that half hour before everyone else began to stir?
Just kind of taking inventory of himself, like making sure he's not like bottling anything up, or it's like, and then making sure like none of his clothes are like damaged or anything.
Nope, you appear to be in order, as it were.
Can't be having them pesky emotions.
They are a hindrance. After a bit of time, Guire awakens as well.
Sort of pushes the board up and rises up out of the crawl space beneath and just puts it back. Stretches a little bit. All right. Back into the evening. And she'll just sort of look around, make sure everything in the house is still in place. Nobody's come in or tried to come in during the day.
Nope, your house is uninterrupted.
Probably see Simon in the living room just kind of slowly meandering about.
Well, aren't you an early riser?
Indeed. It's particularly helpful for running a business that also caters to the kind.
Fair enough. It usually takes magic to get me up with any kind of speed, but you know.
Fair enough. Our kind aren't prone to wanting to wake during the day.
Now I just have this image of a vampire who keeps a ghoul that's like high up on caffeine pills all the time, so they can just wake up and walk over, just be like, "Nah," and then be ready to go.
Now the thought came to mind is an ADHD vampire, and they just have a ghoul that's on amphetamines. Gotta take my Adderall. Chomp.
Mercy,
I feel like that's just I think that's a new Malkavian character concept.
Mercy, you will be the next one awake.
Mercy creaks the board, flips the board up, and stretches and says, I don't normally sleep this late because time and tourists are money, but anybody got something to eat around here?
Not unless you want to go hunting crocodiles in the bayou.
I think I'll pass. Been there, tried
I hear
that.
that. It's like I heard the Cajun kind quite like the gator.
Gator blood is, well, it's better than rat blood at the very least.
I
Been
imagine there's a
there,
lot more
too.
of it too.
Mm.
Shawnee, I never asked. Are you on the west side of New Orleans of the bayou or the east?
Probably west of New Orleans because she came from Texas and probably would stay on that side of town.
Okay. All right. More out into the Ferio and Dean's area then.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. That's just for my mental notes. And it will be about a half hour. And then Kat will finally awaken.
Yeah, I was thinking somewhere around either Lake Salvador and Lake Cotahuachi or Lake de Alamos. One of those two.
Okay.
Those are some names.
They're the large lakes that make up the significant portion of the bayou south and west of New Orleans.
Yeah. Well, I mean like the actual names, like Salvador, sure. The other one, what?
Something French something.
Yeah.
One's French, and I'm fairly certain the other one's Native American.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I am good at pronouncing neither of them.
So, Kat, as you make your way into the living room where the rest of your coterie is just sort of making plans for the evening, before you even get anything out of your mouth, all four of your phones go off with your text tone at the same time.
Simon half jumps to the roof. Or into the ceiling. Figuratively, at least.
Open and check.
Yeah, Guire opens hers and checks it.
Checking.
You all have the same text message from a unknown number that simply reads, please report to the New Orleans Museum of Art for a mandatory citywide meeting within Elysium at midnight.
Looks like we stirred something up.
And
Prince is about to make a bad move.
And as soon as your eyes The fun thing is, as soon as your eyes leave the text message, it deletes itself from your phone.
I'm afraid that you're right.
You wouldn't call a citywide meeting unless you were about to announce a blood hunt.
That's not necessarily true.
There aren't many other reasons I can think of relevant to current circumstances.
Security concerns regarding the entirety of the Camarillas inner circle coming into town is a possibility.
I feel
you are
like
right,
I
it's-
feel like they wouldn't want people to know that.
No, but it could just be security concerns with
they
even more
already-
people coming into town.
I was under the impression that the Camarillo like to keep things quiet.
But they already know it's out thanks to us.
Oh, not thanks to us, thanks to Alexander being
No.
an idiot, but
They know because of us that it's already out. That can't be put back inside the bag. So your probability is yours is more probable. I'm just saying it might not necessarily be that.
well, it's a bit of a drive to the Museum of Art. What time of night is it right now?
Roughly between 7:30 and 8. You have a little bit of time.
We got an hour or two before we need to actually get out there.
Before we go, since this is going to be every lick in the city, well, every approved lick in the city, we should probably put a few cards on the table here, because since we are going to be viewed as a unit, whoever's an enemy to one of you will be an enemy to all of us. Is there anybody in particular besides obviously Tremere that we should be wary of?
Bruja have some bad blood for me.
Any in particular? And is this kill you at the first opportunity blood, or slash your tires blood?
It's hard to say. It depends on the Bruja. Like Destiny didn't just kill me outright.
Okay.
To that extent. Does anyone else know Auspex?
Not yet. I will hopefully by the end of this session.
Oh no, I in character. Like Simon's asking like the courtier if anyone else has that discipline.
I do.
I'm a little rusty. I need to get my practice back in.
Fair
My
enough.
talents are elsewhere.
Well, Mercy, are you able to view auras?
That I cannot do.
Okay. It's like basically you have 2 dots in it.
No, I don't.
Okay. Well, that's a shame. The reactions are always fun. Anyways, but yeah, the
Oh no, we're not leaving that. I think that's hilarious that you think you're asking if aura reading is capable of anybody. Your response is that way, and then you just move on from it. By all means.
it's what would show up in an aura that would make a clan hate you?
Did you commit amaranth on a Bruja?
It was not
Yes.
my plan.
So yes.
What makes it really fun is otherwise my aura is described as very bright,
Oh my.
almost mortal.
Mortal aura with the marks of diablerie. Interesting.
Has some fun reactions.
is this generally known?
I imagine some of the higher ranks of the Camarilla in town probably are aware. Anyone with aura perception would be able to see it,
Right.
but the brightness of it also just makes it incredibly confusing. That and I don't go very many places.
What I guess what I'm asking is, should we be concerned that should the prince decide to perceive your aura, which I would assume she has at some point, but maybe she hasn't. Do we only have to worry about the Sabbat blood hunts and not you?
Well, considering it's been however many years, close to 2 decades, and that there has not been a blood hunt,
Okay, fair enough.
unless I manage to piss off Destiny, I suppose.
Not yet.
It's like, not as far as I'm aware.
All right, so worry about the brouhaha more than usual.
Like, they might try to pick a fight. I don't know if like the rank and file are aware of why.
But they know that you're not on the good side of the clan.
Yeah.
Okay.
I imagine for most of them, it's probably like a bouncers meeting, and there's just my face on a poster of "Don't allow in" at
Got
a
it.
club type of.
I don't have an entire clan angry at me. There is one person, and should anybody ask you about this, I have not informed you about this. This is a clan matter. There's one person in the city who has issues with me, and I have issues with them, as I'm sure one of you know already.
So this would be an interfamily.
It is
Dispute.
an interfamily situation.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine it is the person who has eyes on you, as it were.
Like I said, I imagine at least one of you is aware of this. Yes.
The other two would be aware if they were paying attention. Simon has commented about the being
Oh
watched.
no, that was yes, that was
Yeah.
that was a specific choice of words.
Simon just waves into nowhere again.
We'll probably be dealing with each other at some point, and we'll see how that goes. She might, if she's watching me, she's watching you, obviously. But I don't imagine she would get horribly involved in this because our clan is extremely careful about neutrality. It's important to us. We even signed an agreement.
Plus, I don't imagine that she would want to act while you're working with Camarilla and risk being the target of the Camarilla of the city.
Unlikely. Of course, if something happens, something happens.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of whether she will have to weigh whether doing anything to me negatively impacts what we're doing, which I, of course, am doing for the good of the clan. We'll see. Things happen when I would assume this would be my first time when Justicars and Sabat end up in the same city.
Family reunions. So
Yeah.
glad I don't remember mine.
My family is great for the most part. Even this one has her uses.
Well, if I had any cards to put out on the table, I would, but truth be told is I don't know if I do or not.
One of us has at least kept their heads down.
Well, it's not keeping your head down so much as it's amnesia. I literally can't put my cards down.
Fair enough.
So literally could be anything.
I could have pissed somebody off, and I don't know. I try not to.
Clan enmity with like 5 clans. Here we go.
This is the point where we're like, we happen to be walking by, like, in Elysium, they post up the red list, and like, wait a minute.
There's like 5 of them are Mercy in different outfits.
Okay, well, that's better than I was concerned of. So good.
Well, it could be or it could not be. Well, don't know.
Fireworks have begun.
Say it's early, but people were setting stuff off here at 6 o'clock last night. So
Sounds about right.
I'm surprised I haven't heard a whole lot of. Someone last night had like popper fireworks. They could have been just like snap bangs. I'm not sure.
Kind of going for the past 36 hours intermittently.
fun.
All
America.
right, well, I guess let's go.
I
Vampires.
know we're full on Murica at this point.
Yes.
Especially north of Chicago, they've gone full America.
Back to vampires.
Thank you, Katie.
Please.
4th of July, the vampire's favorite holiday.
I want to bite somebody. Come on now.
You do have a bit of time before the Elysium summon. It will take you roughly. I'm just gonna.
It's a bit of a drive to get to the museum from where from where the shack could be. Because I feel like the nearest actual road is 306.
Yeah, it's a bit of a drive. It's going to be at least an hour and a half, if not 2 hours, to get into town, and more because of traffic.
Right.
So you might have time to stop and pick up, dinner on the way. But
Is there such thing as a drive-through between?
I think that's called a blood bank.
What fun is that?
the blood banks ask questions.
Give them enough money.
It also depends on who controls the blood bank.
Also true.
Fair enough.
Probably more than one vampire-controlled blood bank in the city.
How
should
does
be
transport go? Is everybody piling into the hearse? Are you driving by yourself, Guayar?
And Guire's taking the motorcycle regardless. If someone wants to ride with her, they can.
I am 100% hitching a ride.
Okay.
Simon's gonna play
Anybody?
corpse in the back of the hearse.
Anybody that wants to pile on in,
Okay. So
get nice and comfy.
Simon and Mercy head out, and Guayar and Kat head out. So before we reconvene at Elysium, Mercy, are you going to try and find an individual to snack upon before heading in?
I don't know what I'm walking into, so the least I can do is not be hangry in what could be potentially a very heated situation. So yes, I am gonna find somebody.
On the drive-in, Simon will comment, what would be a real fun way to do this? Get a couple, like, to get in, like, show them a couple of spots and like get them out and around the back of the vehicle, and we jump each of them. Like I'm just laying here a prop until it's far too late for him.
That is one avenue you could take.
I'm not quite sure about that.
Not good for business.
I was about
By
to
all means,
say,
it could be a
I've
terrible
got a-
idea. Just
I've
kind of
got a
amusing though.
Well, I'm giving you points for creativity. However, I do have a business to run and stellar reviews on TripAdvisor and Yelp, so I'm going to keep those. She's very proud of that.
Fair enough. You are one of the top rated in the city.
Yes, the top rated. Thank you.
It's like Simon has no idea if it's true or not.
That's okay.
Yes.
I'll correct him.
It is.
How to do this?
Are you in need of a snack on the way, Kat? Squire will ask as they're writing.
It wouldn't be a bad what. It would not be a terrible idea. It is, well, it would be good to eat. It would be problematic, though.
What makes you say that one?
It is much harder for I don't have the luxury that many of the rest of you do. My targets don't just go off into ecstasy when they get fed from. I'm fine. I'm not at a dangerous level of hunger.
Fair
yet.
enough. I'm just a little ways away from topped off, so I don't really need it, but
Hopefully I'm hoping that there will be something in Elysium that
I have
Oh,
a
yeah,
question.
there
it'll
they don't
be-
resist.
if they're setting up Elysium there, then it should be relatively easy to get good blood.
One might imagine.
I have a question. Are we still driving in the Bayou, or are we closer to the city by now?
You could be closer to the city.
I was only asking because if we were closer to the Bayou, I was going to find some like poor stranded motorist or something like that.
Well, if you want to find something while around the bayou, you more than certainly can. There are always people who break down at the most unfortunate times.
Look for a stranded motorist on the way.
I go look for find a stranded motorist and look real cute, roll down the window, say, y'all need some help?
You come upon a man and a woman who are currently dealing with smoke pouring out of their hood. Small hatchback car. Both Caucasian, probably early 40s, if you had to guess. The man looks up. Well, we was heading out to the bayou, and I'm not so good with the cars. And yeah, I could use a ride back into town so we could figure out a towing service, if you don't mind.
Oh no, I don't mind at all. Please, I'm a tour guide, so please don't mind the hearse. It's non-functional as a hearse, but I can give you a ride to town.
With Simon laying in the back.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, it feels smooch.
Roll me manipulation and subterfuge. Difficulty 6, please. One success. Okay. There's a little bit of talking back and forth between the potentially husband and wife, the two of them. And eventually they do pile into the back of your hearse. And you begin making your way towards town. How are you going about this? Because that will determine what roles and how the scene is set up.
I, I'm gonna ask them. So y'all need to go mechanic or need to make a phone call or
Yeah, I probably
Yeah.
need to talk to a mechanic. I think I might know what's wrong, but I definitely want a second opinion.
okay.
His wife gives a hearty sigh from the other seat in the back.
I'm so sorry. I know it must be frustrating. I'll get there as soon as I can.
Well, we appreciate it.
So-
This is our first time out in Louisiana, so we figured we'd head towards the Bayou instead of staying in all that Mardi Gras mess that's going on.
I tell you what, that's a whole lot of people right there. Y'all made a good call. Where y'all from?
Up in Alabama.
Oh, up in Alabama. Okay. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. Let me see. And she would Mercy know? Well, Mercy would know a mechanic because she's got a car.
Oh yeah.
So Mercy is gonna take them to her mechanic, and there's a is there an alley nearby the mechanic?
Oh yeah. It's in my experience, I've always found mechanics are corner shops, and I don't know why. But the one you find near you is located on a corner. I would like to look up a mechanic in New Orleans, but that's going to pop up 100,000 results, and we're just going to say you can find one.
Okay.
So you have a guy that you go to. You pull into his shop, and you see a few people are looking out. And this is the late night crew. This is the people who has to get stuff done for, generally city vehicles are here, or people like you who are, it's cabs, the hearses. It's the vehicles that generally aren't just out and about on the road. But he always works with you for no matter what you have coming around.
Okay. Is he aware of is the mechanic aware of our kind?
Your condition? Yes. After a while, he kind of put 2 and 2 together, and you just sort of had to spill the beans.
Okay. So
He, of course, has agreed not to tell anybody under penalty of being murdered. So
it's a good penalty.
Coming lunch.
So I'm gonna tell him this is my mechanic. He'll fix you up real good. Come on out and I'll introduce you. And she's gonna say, I think he's around back. And so she's gonna cut through the alleyway. Are you joining me, Simon? Are you
Simon's
you-
playing corpse in the back.
Are you
Okay.
sure
Be a,
that you
be a
don't want
little
snack?
weird.
You don't want a snack?
I mean, Simon
there's
could.
there's two of them. Once they've both like gotten out of the car, Simon can follow behind if he so desires.
Yeah. If Simon can like sneak around, like kind of lurk behind them a little bit, then
Roll
will.
me Dex and Stealth difficulty 7. You're in closer proximity.
Dex. Stealth 7.
Do you desire to spend a willpower?
Yeah. Would you like to spend a willpower?
First, I want to reread what this merit does to make sure it doesn't apply.
What is the merit?
I have to calm heart because from just its name, it could apply a lot of things.
Nope. Calm heart is just to make sure that you don't frenzy.
Okay.
It's you receive 2 extra dice when attempting to resist frenzy, and brouhaha are banned from taking it no matter what. I can't imagine why. So yes, you may spend willpower. 2 successes. All right. So Mercy, you lead them around the back alley. Simon, you sneak up rather slowly, and once the two of them are in the shadows, I will need Dex and Brawl rolls from the both of you. Unless either of you is going about this the seduction route instead. Or is this just a grab and dump?
That's yeah. No time for finesse right now.
Yeah.
Take a bite, leave them with the mechanic so they can get fixed up.
Everybody can get fixed up.
Found this on the side of the road.
And now they sound
Oh.
like roadkill. I will use the willpower. I'm not sure how to add this on the roll though.
You just count it as an extra success on top of whatever you roll.
Okay. 4 successes. I apparently don't really need it.
Hey, you say that, but it's the times that you don't think you need it.
Yeah. I didn't think I needed it. I thought I would need it because I have no dots on brawl. So that's 3 successes on 3 dice.
And then an extra one for willpower.
Yeah. Munch.
Okay.
Crunch.
Katie, you got 1 success. Both of you can successfully feed.
Let's see.
Are you taking the safe and healthy 3 blood?
Simon probably will because I think that's all Simon needs. Let's see, 11th generation. 12. Yep. No, I'm down to 8. I would need 4 blood points. I'll just take the 3. Be just under full.
Okay.
Mercy?
Hmm?
Are you just taking the safe 3 blood, or?
Yes, I'm taking 3. Yes. I don't want to incapacitate him. Just wanted to grab a bite to eat and be on my way.
Okay. Easy enough. So Kat and Guayar have decided to not seek out food.
Not
Yep.
at the moment, in my case, at least.
Okay.
Squire's 2 down from Cap. If she needs anything, she can probably get it at Elysium.
Okay. The scene that is laid out before you all. There is a number of cars here. The parking lot is rather full. All of the lights are on, and there is currently a line to get in. And there are multiple bouncers who are talking to the individuals who are lined up. After a few minutes of waiting in line, they're going fairly quickly. You get to one of the bouncers who asks, name.
Vincente.
Percy Ransom.
Bonnie.
Simon DeLuca.
He quickly scribbles all 4 of you down and then looks through a number of pages and just holds a hand out for you to enter. The place is packed. And the ordinary statement piece that would be right in the entrance has been moved for the evening, and 8 large canvases have been hung in various arrangements. 2 are hanging from the ceiling, 2 are on easels, the other 4 have been put onto the wall. The main thing that sticks out from them is they are varying shades of blood that has been used as paint.
There are 8 of the prince's works.
Yes. 2 paintings that are currently hanging from the ceiling are drawings all 4 of you immediately recognize. As one Irene Moretti and one Marquez Moore.
Simon particularly looks at those with a studious eye to see what differences there are between that and the sketches that he made.
Not much, though. You've done various forms of art, and you can tell that these brush strokes seem hurried, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm fairly certain that just about seals what the purpose of this meeting is.
Theater, I'd say.
You're not wrong.
Although you could also be right. Are the other 6 what look to be portraits of other individual people that I don't recognize?
Yes.
And could probably be the Archons?
Yes.
Or whatever their title is.
Justicars.
Justicars, that's it.
They are all different individuals. You could potentially guess who they are, but these also could just be random paintings of Simone's.
Yeah.
Now,
you could be right at the same time, however, Kat.
The thought comes to mind is that they are pictures of the Justicars, but we're about to blood out the Justicars too. Simone is actually an anarch.
Shawnee, you were saying something?
Oh no, she was just saying to Kat that she could also be right at the same time because of the other 6 portraits. It could be about both things.
It absolutely could. We will.
After studying the 2, Jeremy, were you still?
Oh no,
continuing
no,
your thought?
no.
Okay.
That was where she left off.
Okay. After studying the 2, Simon wants to look at the others to see if he might recognize them.
Roll me wits and streetwise difficulty 9.
What's streetwise?
There any chance that Guire would be at all familiar with any of these people as well, having been around here for a long time?
You can roll me the same roll at difficulty 8.
Okay.
So, a thing for mine, Simon has 2 dots in status. Like he knows people.
Mhm.
Would that affect it in any way?
Your status will bring it down by 2. I believe, Guire, you also have status. You can lower
Yes,
it
I
by
do
that as
also have
well.
status.
Okay, so difficulty 7. Yeah.
And mine would be difficulty 6 then.
Nope.
With streetwise diff 6.
They probably have not come in by close from Simon.
Bam.
3 successes. It's not really a rumor, but it's well known that Simone will just randomly pick individuals, like tourists, off the street and dominate them for the evening and paint their portrait and then send them back out into the world. And these look like people. Actually, one of them you know immediately. That's the gentleman who tried to attack you the other night. It's like you took a look and you were like, okay, I don't. What the fuck? Okay.
Wait a minute, I beat the shit out of that guy and drank his blood.
Oh, poor priest.
What was that?
Not really.
Well, like Simon will like actually like respond like, poor priest.
Oh, one of those portraits is a holy man who decided he had enough of the devil walking the streets. He was a good snack.
When was this?
Last night.
Simon wants to look at that painting and see if he can gauge how old, like how long ago it was painted.
Roll me wits and crafts, difficulty 6.
What's in crafts? Difficulty 6.
Well, damn.
Holy smokes.
So it's a little. You have to stare for a few minutes just to figure out, because blood is way different to paint with than actual paint.
If that was good, if the blood oxidation is going to be a concern, I also do have 3 dots in science.
Okay. Well, 6 dots, it's okay, but it looks like this is this actually looks like the oldest of the paintings. So this has probably been a bit, but it also depends on how many paintings Simone gets done in a night.
Yeah. But like the blood is clearly on the older
clearly
side.
Oxidated.
Yeah. Well, that might be why that priest was so angry, having been a guinea pig once already.
It's possible.
And then your reputation, of course.
Well, and just the effect that I have on the faithful.
Fair. You're right. Poor priest. Keeps having a lot of problems, apparently. I'm going to have my retainers pay attention to the newspaper. I imagine he'll probably end up dead before too much longer.
You should hear the things they like to shout at me in my hers. It's a good time.
Oh, it's. I promise you, it's nothing quite as what they get up to when I walk by.
Oh, I'm sure.
I mean, the Catholics do use hearses.
Remember the situation regarding myself and my soul regarding the blood curse that the Tremere tried to put on us. Yeah, the thing that busted that also makes me something of a beacon of the unholy as far as the faithful are concerned. They can sense something's wrong when I'm nearby, which is part of how I got the moniker the Devil of New Orleans.
I do. They need to be unsettled just a little bit. Makes me happy.
Well, I'll be damned. That does make a fair bit of sense.
Men of the cloth and anyone of particularly zealous faith just get the heebie-jeebies whenever I'm nearby.
Cat.
Yep.
What are you doing at this time? Are you also just sort of examining paintings? Are you
I'm keeping an eye out for people.
okay then? There is a woman that enters with two individuals, one on either arm, in a very, very high-end black dress with slit up to mid-thigh.
Okay.
She currently has a fox fur stole around her shoulders, a bob of gray and white hair, and as she walks in, the first thing she does is make eye contact with you.
Okay.
She then turns to her two pieces of arm candy, says something, and they both flee into the throng of people that is just going around the museum. She slowly approaches you, making it not look deliberate. And she looks at the paintings while standing beside you. I'm glad to see you have finally made it into the city.
To be clear, is this somebody I recognize?
Not off the top of your head.
Okay.
Is this lady that's walking up trying to have this conversation while the three of us are commenting about this painting?
Yes.
Okay. If it carries on any longer, then that Simon probably listens in.
Forgive me for being presumptive. I have just arrived and don't have not had an opportunity to get my bearings, but I'm willing to guess. Are we family?
Yes, I'm your Aunt Karina.
Yes, of course. It's good to see you. I've been I was hoping to actually get in touch with you yesterday, but things came up.
I have heard through the grapevine a few things that you've come across.
Yes, I was hoping we could actually speak about that. Look around really quick. Do you have a moment?
For family, always.
Wonderful. Sort of just step aside, just sort of out of the public, just a little bit more out of the way.
Mhm.
What exactly have you heard so far, so I know what needs to be caught up?
Well, I heard that there was an impressive display of your abilities at Lafitte. I was told that by Agony. Of course, he tends to embellish details. That man's never sober.
That is
So,
fair.
I mean,
Do you have any idea what tonight's meeting is about?
I have a few thoughts. If I had to guess, those two individuals there are either being put on the chopping block or the princess are enacting her right to pure madness, as I would like to call it, with things happening in the city right now.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless of any important individuals who are coming in, a blood hunt, she will whisper those words,
Right.
at the height of Carnival is one of the dumbest decisions anyone could make.
So our best estimation right now is that those two have started playing for the Southern League. And
Interesting
the
hypothesis.
obvious concern is that they might be bringing people into the city for certain actions considering who's arriving.
I could see them wanting to get one up on important individuals.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, I've been here roughly 60 years, and that's the former Harpy, and that is a member of the security squad.
Yes.
Either Simone was calmed very quickly by Charlotte, or this is going to be much worse than we expected.
Yes, absolutely.
That being the case, this could also be her just calling for information, and this being the quickest way to go about it. Seeing as we're in the heights of the city being flooded by the Kine, and we have what is happening. It could be a way to steamroll the process.
You know the prince much better than I do. I would. What do you think is more likely?
It all depends on what Alexander and Charlotte were able to talk to her about last night. If I had to guess, this is probably more. I don't think this is a blood hunt. I do believe that this is probably. She is putting their names out there. She's putting them on the chopping block, but she is not asking for their death. This is a bounty hunt and not a free reign.
Right. The word, as I've understood it from speaking to people, is that through you we have most of the ways in and out of the city for less subtle movements covered. If you had to guess where those two might be trying to move people in, is there anything that would register?
One of the biggest points would be any of the Bayou territories would be easy to come in from the other states. And then from there's the main causeway over Lake Pontchartrain. Or if they were going to come in from Baton Rouge, they would come down I-10. So if I had to guess, the easiest way would be through the causeway. Because while it is monitored, there's a million people coming in and out of the city.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter what vehicle you're in, you're going to get waved on.
Are there along that way? And if not, is there somewhere to hole up? Because I would assume that these imports will be. My guess is they would already be in the city.
Yes, potentially. If I had to guess, yes.
They would be here already fed up, already in place, ready to strike if need be. Of course, there is also just the possibility that these two have a horrible vendetta and want to do something to embarrass the prince before in the face of the few people the prince might fear. But
that is also very true.
Overplan and be ready to adjust.
If they have moved anything in, they would be in the central business district. There's a lot of empty warehouses out that way, and there's a lot of businesses, so a couple trucks could slip by unnoticed, depending on
Delightful.
what mode of transport they're bringing them in the city with.
Well, that gives us a place to start. This is still my temporary new friend group and my charge to look into. So I appreciate that.
Of course. She will flip out a card from her clutch.
Okay.
And if you need anything, Dunice, please call.
Thank you.
And she will make her way into Elysium proper.
Wander back to the group. We have potentially a place to look.
That's so.
Once this whole monstrosity of whatever is about to happen happens, at least.
Indeed, it would seem
Well,
so.
Let's see if we can find you a blood bag or something before everything kicks off, so you've at least got something to drink.
So I don't murder someone. That would be nice.
The level of pretentious has gone up in this venue. There are a number of waiters walking around with just trays full of goblets of blood.
Mm-hmm. Perfect.
Each of them
Works
are
for
labeled
me.
by a blood type.
Mm.
I would like to acquire 2 blood points if possible.
It is
Same.
more than possible.
Simon will follow Guire's lead, having
I
not really.
only need the 2, so I don't know what everyone else needs.
Well, no, like
We'll see.
Simon has been to Elysium once and did not partake in Elysium.
Yeah,
So
no,
it's like-
legit.
Simon just sees Guire going up and getting a goblet or 2 or whatever, and will follow suit.
I think
But
Guire
for 1 blood
literally just double fists a pair of goblets and just downs them both and sets them back.
Yeah,
'Cause
it's
that's
very
how Guire
much
rolls.
it's very much the scene from like any romantic comedy when you see somebody like walking into a place where that is way classier than they should be, just walk in, take 2, put them right back
Yep.
on the tray.
Only Guire does it not because like she is as classy. She's classy as fuck, but she does it just to piss off the Tremere. Because they're the ones organizing it.
Fair
I
enough.
take only 2 because I don't trust random blood and glasses being sent around. We don't know what was poured into that.
That is
So-
very true.
Simon only takes 1, but does it in the exact same manner as Guire.
Grab one, down, put it back.
Yup.
Mercy does not take 1 because, like Kat, she does not drink strange blood, and she's also driving, so she does not need to drink and drive.
I need a good 2 to get me up to at least half my blood pool, but yeah, that's as far as I'm going for now.
Guire takes them and doesn't care because every vampire in the city is here and drinking from these goblets. So if they were going to do something big, the prince would have only done something as bad as LSD, maybe at most.
Blood pond. Blood pond.
I mean, yeah.
Gesundheit.
I think my real question is, because the Tremere definitely just watched Guire do that, and then just watch someone with Guire do the exact same thing, and how do they react to that? That there's now someone acting the exact same as Guire.
There is the forehead wrinkle. Oh, shit, they're multiplying. There any
Yeah.
other conversations you all want to have with any individuals that might be here?
Guire wants to see if she can spot oh god, why am I forgetting names? the harpy in the crowd.
Charlotte.
Charlotte, yeah.
Roll me perception and alertness, difficulty 7 because of the amount of people that are in here.
Simon is just listening and watching
Perception,
with aspects.
alertness, diff 7. Land,
Like-
2 successes.
Okay. You can pick out Charlotte. Her hair is that fiery red hair braided up into a Dutch braid and currently sitting on her shoulder. She's wearing a white and blue dress that comes just above her knees and is just decked out in petticoats. And she is currently talking to an African American individual that immediately sets off alarms in your head.
Oh. Is it the Tremere Primogen?
Yes, you would recognize this as Madame Morgane Saint Julien. Roughly 5'6", African American woman with shoulder length black hair and upside down cross tattooed onto her forehead. She's wearing a black floor length dress and is currently holding in one hand a goblet of blood while Charlotte is very animately talking to her.
Guire will. Yeah, this is how Guire would approach this. She'll weave through the crowd until she's able to stand like 10 feet behind Morgane in Charlotte's line of sight, and just wait there, just sort of hands like leaning on the cane, just like in that very casual pose, just sort of waiting and watching the conversation.
So you will see Charlotte talk, and then she'll just kind of do that side leaned thing, still maintaining eye contact, but like firing off every few seconds to look straight at you. And finally, Morgane just sort of turns around, and you make eye contact with the Primogen of the Tremere in the city.
There's an enormous fanged grin on Guire's face.
Before it continues on, with Simon watching and listening, would Simon be able to see this happening?
Yeah, it's like there is an assemblage of people, but it is not crowded to the point where you cannot see, like, pick individuals out of a crowd.
Simon will point this out to Mercy, because probably still standing by Mercy. It's either that or walked up with Guire. That kind of depends on if Guire walked away with purpose.
Oh, Guire definitely walked away with purpose.
Yeah. With purpose, like, I suppose more of like in a way that could be followed easily.
No, she was definitely weaving through the crowd,
Okay.
like intentionally, like slipping through people.
Like Simon's not going to try to stay near Guire doing that. And so, like, seeing Guire doing this and like, hey, Mercy. There's
Yeah.
Guire.
Mm-hmm.
There's the Tremere Primogen.
Mm-hmm.
This could be interesting.
Interesting is the least it could be.
Catastrophic is the term you're thinking of.
Yes, that.
We are in Elysium. I can't imagine, especially a Primogen would not want to cause that much of a scene. They'd wait till outside.
We're
I've been around a minute. I
Uh.
think you'll find they can.
We're in an Elysium controlled by a Tremere. That is the Tremere Primogen, and the meeting has not yet begun. I'm pretty sure they can do whatever they want. Because who's
Fair.
going to say no?
Yeah,
The
there's,
prince,
there's a
the sheriff.
there's a big toothy
Maybe.
grin on Guire's face as Morgane turns around.
She will set her goblet on a random passerby's tray. Well.
Madame Saint Julien, it's such a pleasure to see you.
Vincente. Other than this being mandatory, what gives you the right to crawl out of your bog this evening?
Oh, just being on the forefront of events and keeping an eye on things. Some of us have jobs to do.
Very well. Charlotte, be a dear. Run along, please.
Actually, Charlotte's the one that I'm here to talk to, if you don't mind.
She will smile and she will look around and then give a small nod. Enjoy your night, because I know you have to. And she will walk away.
The grin only grows.
With the Auspex augmented perception, is Simon able to figure out, like, tell what they're saying?
Probably not
No,
through the crowd.
Yeah, there is too much.
Okay.
There are too many overlapping voices.
Well, I also mean just by lip reading.
You could probably get Guiar's side of the conversation. She is angled away from you.
Okay. That and lip reading is a lot harder if you aren't familiar with someone.
Yes.
But any, like, the particularly notable, like, the notably sassy moments Simon would relay back.
But after Morgan departs, she'll turn back to Charlotte. How did the conversation last night go?
Well, after a bit of breaking things and quite a few swear words that I'm fairly certain I think they were swear words. I don't speak French. She did calm down a bit. Things were heated, though Destiny showing up and giving her an outlet to just sort of bitch at for about 5 hours was fantastic. So there's that. She does appear to be a little better today. If I had to guess on a scale of 1 to 10 how angry she is calmed down to a cool 8.
From a 12, I take it?
Yeah. We're lucky she doesn't have any of the scary abilities.
The meeting tonight, are we expecting blood hunt or information gathering?
Well, I would advise you not to say those words too loud. But unless she has changed her mind in the last hour while she was getting ready, I can assure you that that event will not take place.
That's fortunate. Our investigation, to say nothing else, would be highly hampered by such an event.
Yes. I think had circumstances been a little different and chess pieces moving as they are, she probably would have. But after being reminded about 6 times of what's happening in a few days, she finally backed down. Because she flat out wanted Irene's head on a stick.
She might still get it if we find her.
Very true. Very true. No, if I had to guess, because she didn't exactly tell me what happened, she just told me to contact somebody about sending a citywide text message. If I had to guess, this is more of a she's looking for them.
Mhm.
She wants to talk to them. She doesn't want merciless justice enacted. She wants to be able to hear their side, which I think it might be a little how best to put this. We'll go with dangerous. But
Either that or she just wants to kill them herself.
that could always be the case. So how are you liking the change to the decor tonight?
I recognize at least one of the paintings that isn't our guests of honor. I'm curious how long ago that got made, she says, pointing to the priest.
That would have been roughly about a week ago. I remember him. He kicked and screamed a lot.
Yeah, he screamed at me a lot last night, too. It was a good snack.
You keep it up, and the entire church is going to move against you.
They did a couple decades ago.
You know, we really need to sit down over a nice fire and just have a conversation one night.
Oh, I'd love that.
She will just sort of reach over and pat your cheek. I have other matters to attend to, but do enjoy the party while it's going.
Oh, I will. I've already gotten a good share of entertainment just by happening to be there when Morgana was talking to you.
Yeah, she's up in arms about a few things. Territory disputes. You know how it is. But
Well, I won't keep you any further.
She will curtsy and make her way back into the crowd.
And Guire will sort of spin the cane a little bit and walk her way back towards the coterie.
Offhand, first thing that comes to mind is doing that in a crowd and accidentally hits somebody. Or intentionally hits somebody if it's a Tremere behind her.
I think she very intentionally like spins it like twice and then probably very close to a Tremere, just intentionally missing them.
Just like close enough that like shit like breezes their hair slightly.
Yeah.
The second thing that came to mind is like Guire says like blood hunt, Destiny or not Destiny, Charlotte says like not to say it loudly. And just a Bruja, just a little bit too close, starts chanting blood hunt. A chant of blood hunt rebels through Elysium. Anyways, for the actual story,
this frat party got out of hand really quickly.
Yeah. For the actual story, Simon would have stopped particularly paying attention to Guire and would have went back to like just trying to listen into any other notable conversations. Either if they're close enough by actual hearing or lip reading, if they're
a lot of these people are just like catching up because they've not talked to people in, you know, some vampires go decades without talking to each other.
Mm-hmm. So. The juiciest gossip.
Yes.
Tell me everything that happened in the last 10 years.
I have been keeping a diary. Hold on.
Yeah.
Just
page 1 of 8,000.
Picture like one of those big, like whole table dictionaries, just like
old family Bibles.
Or that. Well, Mercy wants to know whatever it was that Guire was talking about. What Guire found out.
Well, I traded a couple of barbs with Madame Saint Julien, which was always entertaining.
Mhm.
And then I learned from Charlotte that we're probably not looking at anything too extreme tonight. Mostly just, unless the prince's temper flares up in the next 10 minutes.
Which it could.
It could. It absolutely could. But unless then, probably just getting the word out, looking for information, trying to hunt these people down, not the violent way.
Oh, so not the B word.
Yeah.
Not the
Tr-
B word.
Track them down and find them, not just crawl the city to kill them.
Basically. Different B word, bounty hunt. That's the word.
You do love poking those Tremors, don't you?
It's at this point, it's one of the few joys I have left.
I mean, everybody has their hobbies.
What's your hobby? Bothering the entire clan Tremere.
Like I said, there are worse hobbies to have.
It's also so easy. I just have to be in the room. I can be as polite as you please, and it will still piss them off.
So, Kat, you seem somewhat familiar with your conversation.
Yes.
Did you hear anything that we need to know about?
More or less confirming what uh, where I just said. I have some leads for us once this is all over with.
Good.
Karina is very on top of knowing where people come in, where people might be stored. But let's save talking about that information for when there are less ears here.
Oh, it only makes
Or
sense.
when we're not here. So the ears can.
Given her line of work, I can only imagine.
Yes.
Why does all this reassurance not give me a peaceful, easy feeling?
Because it shouldn't.
Does the reassurance of a lead, it could just be leading into a lion's den?
I got a bad feeling about this.
This could all change in a moment's time. And that moment wouldn't be enough for all of us to be dead.
So at this
It's
moment,
just the way it is.
you all hear from a center room that is connecting everything. I would like everyone to gather in the main event space, if you don't mind.
Charlotte's voice, I'm assuming.
Yes.
All right. Guess it's time.
Out of a closed door walks in Simone in a long red dress that trains about 5 feet behind her. Strapless. Her hair done up in a Victorian bun. And as she takes her spot beside Charlotte, she places a hand on her shoulder. And that is where we're going to go to break.
Nope. Something break middle thing, break discussion thing, blah blah blah. There we go.
When we take our break, you take your
after
break.
These messages.
Yes, something like that.
Get out, stretch your legs, go grab a drink, do whatever. We'll be back after these commercial messages.
There, we're on an ad break. We're already on the we'll be back screen, but now
Okay.
we're on ad break.
Cool.
All right, I'm back.
Yep.
I have so much fun needling Tremere.
I have to wonder how much more Simon will have to mimic Guire before picking up Clan Enmity Tremere.
I mean, part of it, like Guire is legitimately actively polite to the Tremere
Yeah.
because it pisses them off more because of her sheer existence.
Oh, absolutely. But it's particularly particularly because I'm playing up like autism traits and just like masking and mimicking others as with the target of Guire. Like, I wonder if the Tremere hate Guire so much that someone with the same mannerisms will eventually start setting them off.
Maybe, who knows?
Also, because that's just what Simon needs is 2 clan enmity flaws. Right? Watch
Like,
Simon never leave the tailor shop again.
Guire like is very polite on the surface and then is full of needles underneath.
Like, this sounds. It's like, oh, this sounds nice and pleasant, with a very strong undertone of sass.
There's like, oh, I'm just keeping ahead of everything. Some of us have jobs to do, some things like that. And the complete lack of phasing that Guire gives to the Tremere when the Tremere think that everyone should be afraid of them is, I think, yet another needle to them.
I would imagine such. I keep using wits when I have 4 dots of intelligence, and it's like, I really want to use this other trait.
Well, anything that's like recall oriented should be primarily intelligence based. So
yeah, I need it to be business oriented so I can use the specialty, which I've just labeled as business strategy. Is it related to business? What happens if you have 2 expertises that apply?
they only one of them applies at a time. You can only ever get the 10s count as 2 successes once.
Okay. Dang.
You don't get any extra benefit for them overlapping, unfortunately.
Just stack expertises into like, oh yes, this one very niche roll. And you roll 110, you have 9 successes. Surprised no one's botched in 3 weeks.
As long as you get any successes, it's difficult to botch, which is I appreciate. You have to get no successes and ones.
But don't ones take out successes as well?
Ones cancel successes, but if you get 2 negative successes, but you had rolled any successes, it's just a failure. It's not a botch.
Okay.
It's only if you rolled absolutely no successes and there were some ones that you botch.
So far in this game, it would have the 2 most likely rolls would have been us trying to identify people.
Yeah.
With a 9 and 8 difficulty.
Yeah. Because I had 3 dice to do that, and I think you had 2.
Something like that. I just look back at Twitch and I don't think I got switched to the BRB screen.
How?
not?
God damn. We're back.
Hello, everybody. Alrighty. So,
Blood hunt. Blood hunt.
as Prince Simone places her hand on Charlotte, Charlotte gives a little bow this time and takes a step to the side beside Alexander, who has been extremely quiet this evening.
I wonder why.
And she steps up, takes a look around at everybody. I want to thank you all for coming tonight. I apologize for taking such... I apologize for taking your time tonight. It has been brought to my attention that there are a number of individuals working against the Camarilla in our fair city. Now, I know we have had our spats with our neighbors to the south for a while, off and on, but blatant disregard for the traditions and blatant disregard for human life will not be tolerated. I can feel the hairs standing on the back of several of your necks. The 2 words you are expecting will not come from my lips. So calm yourselves.
You just hear a groan from all of the Bruja in the room.
The 2 individuals are Irene Moretti, Marquez Mo. She will hold a hand towards the paintings. The 2 individuals who are hanging there, many of you will recognize the former harpy who sat by my side for 15 years. You can all see she sort of balls her right fist. And then actively takes a breath.
She has to. She's a vampire.
And a former member of our sheriff's security team. Now, many of you may know these 2, and many of you may be in contact with them. I would highly appreciate it if any information can be brought forward to myself or Charlotte, Guillaume, or Destiny. Big things are happening in our city. Carnival brings in 1 million people every year. I have been informed that the number of missing persons cases are on the rise, almost 3-fold of what they were last year. It is too premature to say that this is direct war, but I wish for all of us to be ever vigilant. I wish for Irene Moretti and Marquez Mo to be brought to me alive, having not met their final death. I have questions. And I will get answers. Now, anyone that wishes to come forward tonight may do so. For the rest of you, drink, be merry, and enjoy the atmosphere. Because unfortunately, I'm afraid this is probably the last time we will know peace for a long while. And she turns and walks away. And just like a press conference, a number of questions begin being lobbed from the crowd. She simply walks away. Charlotte is right behind, curtsies to the entirety of Elysium, and quickly follows behind Simone. Everybody can see a roughly 5'10", very well cut gentleman in a gray suit with slick back blonde hair and bright blue eyes following behind the two of them, just at a very leisurely pace. And there is a hushed sort of conversation going around. But eventually the party resumes.
Is the guy in that suit familiar at all?
Give me wits and streetwise difficulty 6. Also, to anybody listening in, I apologize if you hear the cats screaming in the background. We have a few, and one of them is in heat.
I would also like to make that roll. Would again status apply to that?
Yes, status can apply to any of these, and all of you can make this roll.
What is
You said he was wearing a nice suit. Does that help Simon at all?
wits and streetwise?
Yes.
Wits and streetwise. Cat, if you do this, it will be difficulty 7.
Yep, makes sense.
So he was wearing.
Also makes sense. It's an actual botch too.
Ah, it's our first botch.
So he was wearing a nice suit. Does that help Simon at all?
A little bit. Yeah.
And any mechanical?
Mechanically, no.
Okay.
But you can add your status to this.
Okay.
Okay. So Cat, yep, you got no idea who that dude is.
Yep.
Just thinks it's someone from New York or wherever Cat was from.
The other 3 of you, that is Guillaume. That is the Seneschal.
Ah, okay. Guillaume Duval.
Simon quietly comments, like, I really should find out where they're getting their clothes. Those dresses were quite nice.
Interesting to note, as far as any of you can tell, Destiny is not here tonight.
Okay.
Shall we mosey on out? Potentially get some work done while everyone else is busy in Elysium?
I have 2 thoughts on this. Let's convene somewhere momentarily.
I agree with that.
Well, the museum is attached to the New Orleans City Park, so you have plenty of space. If I'm looking at the right museum. I think I'm looking at the wrong museum.
I mean, you're the one who determines which museum it is.
But the one that you had commented last time, yes, it is attached to the park.
Okay.
Like, we have to pass by the city topiary and...
Yep, yeah.
It's like directly adjacent to the Dreyfus Meadow.
Yes.
The funny thought comes by is powwow in the back of the hearse.
It's not out of the question.
No.
So where shall we convene? You want it
Somewhere
privacy of
out
my-
of eyesight, yes. The hearse is fine.
the
The hearse actually
hearse?
works well thematically for what I'm hoping to do.
Okay, well,
Hilariously,
I'm
No,
always
sorry.
a sucker for ambiance, so everybody pile on in.
Hilariously, the
have
other
You gotta have to fight Simon for the prime spot.
we're not driving around trying to look like there's a corpse in the back. It's fine. Completely out of character. The other thought that comes to mind is since vampires don't need to breathe, all the vampires get good at lip reading and just at the bottom of the lake.
There is that
You don't have to-
entire line of gangrel.
I'm sorry.
I was not aware that.
I
Was
have
the
an
thing.
outfit that I not want to ruin. Thank you very much.
Do you think Simon wants to ruin his clothes either?
Yes.
It's not about the clothes. I don't trust any of the lakes around New Orleans. Or any lake
Also
for that matter.
fair.
Yeah.
The
But it's
last
just-
thing we need is the were dragon
Yeah.
showing up.
I was.
You know there are Macaulay
There are
crocodiles in the
100%.
bayou.
There's 100%. Probably not more than like 2, because they don't tend to group up much, but 100%.
There is at least a Macaulay crocodile somewhere
Yep.
in the bayou.
All I
Yep.
could think of is because like the museum is beside a big lake. Because after a hurricane, there's now just a were shark. Just like a singular one that's just in the
a singular rocaia that blew in with the hurricane.
Yep.
Katie,
Anyway.
you were trying to say something?
I was saying, not only am I concerned about what's in the lake, there's not a high degree of visibility even with aspects. I could imagine.
Also fair. But yes,
Yes.
head out into your
Pile in
hearse.
the hearse.
Pile in the hearse.
So
Everybody in.
yes, we definitely want to go out now before word starts to spread too much. It would also be a wonderful idea to have some reconnaissance being done here so that as everybody goes up to protest to our fair prince of, oh, I certainly am not involved, I would not be involved in such a person. However, I did happen to hear this that might be useful. That's all information that would be very useful to us. I
can certainly stand around and speak with Guillaume about potentially gathering any information they hear.
No offense, I would rather have you with us as we go to investigate the warehouse district and the
enough.
potential sabbat coteries that are there.
Fair enough.
I have a method for this. I just need somewhere out of the public eye. And I am going to Mercy proceeds to, or Cat proceeds to reach into her sleeve, take out the razor that she had before. And I'm going to activate Necromancy 1 so I can see and communicate with spirits. Which I believe is just a perception awareness. Diff 5, if I copied it down right from the book.
Yep.
You don't want Simon standing inside eavesdropping like he was doing already.
All right, that'll do it.
That will definitely do
5
it.
successes will. So, and puts it in between her hands. Focuses on a moment. a second. Walter. Walter, I know you're around here somewhere. Do not make me. I'm going to. My goal is to take my spirit servant and have my spirit servant spy.
Okay. So there's a moment that just sort of passes in the air. And then sitting beside you, you rang.
Yes, hello, dear. So over there, there are a number of my people, not my people, but my people. And there is, and I will describe the prince. She's
Okay.
just expressed that there is essentially a wanted a charge levied out against a couple of individuals. And any number of people are going to want to ingratiate themselves by providing all sorts of information. I need you to get that information and then come find me and tell me what they've said.
Can do, boss.
Wonderful. You are the best.
So I have to ask narratively, does everybody else see this? or you
No,
just talking to
only
an
me.
NPC?
I am talking to the air.
The real key here is that at the end of this, Simon will look like where Kat is looking, like give a slight wave. Good luck, Walter.
He will see him look at Simon. Can you see me?
No.
Okay. Oh, okay. Your friend's just fucking with me.
The
Gotcha.
Malkavian. You don't know
Oh.
what that means. Doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
I know. I'll pretend to, if that's what you want. But I got no.
Just
You-
go, it's fine.
You just see Simon with a big Cheshire smile.
All right, boss. How long you want me out there?
Wait until things die down a little bit. Like the people who are probably going to have the most relevant information are the ones who are going to be most concerned about their existences. So I assume they are going to go up immediately.
Fantastic. Fantastic. All right. So
Like-
I will go do that and I will report to you before sunup. Are you going to be
Beautiful.
the usual spot? Or are you gonna-
We are going to be, well, we are heading out to the central business district, but I imagine, yes, come home. I
Can
imagine I will be home.
All right. You look lovely. And he will
Thank
just
you.
step out of the car.
All right, we have our spy. Let's go.
All right.
It's a lesson for you, by the way. Never assume there isn't a ghost watching you at any particular moment.
I'm already aware of people that are watching you.
I mean, that's my whole business. So
Yes, but they might be working for someone like me.
anyway,
Anyways,
where
Is
are we head?
the-
Where are we headed?
we are headed to the central business district. That is where Corinna said that we would be most likely to find people if they were holed up.
Well, I suppose it's best that I start working on this then, Guire says as she twists the cane and pulls, and a long blade comes out of the cane held in the handle.
Quiet,
And
I don't mean to be rude, but while I'm driving, can you keep that out of the window, please?
I'll be needing to work on this if we're going to be going somewhere dangerous. I can leave the motorcycle here. It'll be fine. It's outside the museum.
All right then.
Yes, the World of Darkness game of where did I leave my vehicle this time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Simon will pipe up. I mean, if it's really a problem, we could always leave it at my shop.
in fairness, that is less of an issue than the D&D version, which was where did we leave our horses before we went into the dungeon?
Dungeon's no place for a
They're
pony.
not there anymore. I almost guarantee it.
Yeah, Guire will run the blade across her hand and enact the burning blade ritual.
As long as I can drive, you can do whatever the hell you want.
Blam. Okay.
All right.
Because this is not strictly speaking a original Asamite sorcery ritual, it takes an extra success to get any effect. So I get 2 attacks. My next 2 attacks with this sword are automatically aggravated damage.
Okay. So, what is the group's plan here besides aimlessly driving around the central business district?
My next 2 attacks on any
Aimlessly, I
supernatural
beg your
creatures.
pardon.
Okay.
What was that, Katie?
Said aimlessly, I beg your pardon. That is not how I drive.
I got the information. I don't know the area. I'm letting them let
It's
me
like
know.
we're looking for like not high profile warehouses.
All right. Well,
I thought it was.
I'm gonna park at a central location, and we can
Look around.
discreetly make our way from there.
I would take on top of the 3 blood I'd have to spend for that ritual, I would take a lethal damage, but I'll spend an extra blood to regenerate that.
Okay. I need everybody to make me perception and alertness checks. Difficulty 7. You don't know exactly what you're looking for. Like, you have a base idea, but there's a lot of buildings out here and a lot of.
So
Perception alertness.
Yes.
Okay.
I
3
imagine
successes.
Auspex can apply to this.
Yes.
Simon's basically been using that all evening. And let's see, so 2 dots of Auspex down to difficulty.
Dang it, I have.
Nope.
1.
Okay. So between the combined efforts of all of you, there is a warehouse that you find 2 large, like 2 of the, not the semi, but the step below that of U-Haul containers, like U-Haul trucks, parked on either side of a warehouse, which has 1 garage door. And
There's a bunch of U-Haul trucks, and this is not a U-Haul depot.
yes.
I give you 1 guess.
I'd say that's a pretty good indication.
This just screams at me because my mom works with U-Haul. like the business that she works at here in town is like the local U-Haul.
So, besides the U-Haul trucks, do we see anything else unusual about this building?
Well, nothing that super quick catches the eye, but the one thing you notice is the door handle is like there's the garage door type door and an entrance door, and that handle has been crushed.
Simon, I don't suppose that your ability to read auras works through walls, does it?
I'm fairly certain I have to be able to see them. A higher level aspects might be able to do something. I am not sure. But I only have 2 dots. And aura perception says I need to look at them.
Yeah.
Can you hear any activity in there?
It's like Simon will take a moment to like focus and like re-listen or take a moment and refocus. And can I remake the roll?
Yeah, the
Okay.
first was you guys all looking around trying to find something, which I guess should have been investigation, but
Is this still difficulty 7?
this will be difficulty 6.
Okay. So down again, and I will use a willpower on this one for 4 successes.
Okay, so you sort of focus all of your attention outward towards the warehouse, and the thing that sticks out is even though a lot of these buildings are closed or just flat out abandoned, you can still hear things in them.
Mhm.
Like there's rats, there's the occasional bum, and the thing that you notice about this is it is unnaturally quiet. There's no noise coming from inside.
Having walked this way, Simon would comment like, so there, like, over there is a dirty alley with like dumpsters. There should be rats. A lot of these warehouses are abandoned, and I can't imagine that they're checked regularly. So there should be homeless folks trying to set up. There's none of that. Guire, you commented that things don't like you much. That
The religious.
like, okay.
Promising.
So there's something not normal, at least.
I personally don't favor the odds of taking a look in there only to get a shotgun to the face. But Guire takes out her phone and takes a picture of the warehouse with the U-Hauls framed on either side of it.
How close are we to the building itself?
I imagine you're a good 30, 40 feet away trying to put you're at investigation distance. Oh, there they are. There's the fireworks.
But she will take a picture of that and text it to Destiny with the tag with the message. Well, doesn't this look suspicious?
Particularly with aspects and being able to enhance sight, Simon wants to maybe take a couple more steps towards the building and try to look at the door handle to see if it was like someone who actually knew what they were doing and crushed it, or something like a gangrel just being careless.
Yeah, did someone take a crowbar to it, or did someone take a pair of claws to it?
Like that, and was it crushed in like a ball doorknob? You can crush the ball and it doesn't make a bit of difference. Versus other styles where if you crush it just right, you can jam up the mechanism.
This is not a ball doorknob. This is one of the.
Well, that was just the example of
Oh no! I'm aware. I'm informing you that it's.
It's the turning lever.
Yeah, it's the kind that can be popped open by crushing it the right way.
Okay.
Cat is going to look around. Are there any just people around?
There's a homeless man just sort of sitting out. He watched you guys walk by. He's about 2 warehouses back. Just sort of minding his own business.
I'll be right back. I'm turning around and I'm walking that direction.
Simon will comment that looking at that doorknob, it looks like it's destroyed from them gaining entry.
I have a question. How close? So we've been able to figure out that it's unnaturally quiet at this particular warehouse.
Mhm.
how is there any way to tell how much that aura permeates, or how far like that
How far that effect reaches?
yes, that.
Not without
At most,
Actually-
2 warehouses back because there's a homeless person.
The easiest way to do it would be a walk test, where
That
you
puts
just
you,
have
but
to-
that puts you walking in close proximity to this thing that is probably full of Sabat. I wait to
mean,
see if
fair.
Destiny's getting back to me.
You will get a message in a minute. Cat, the gentleman looks up at you. He is currently just reading a book.
Hi,
Hello, how can I help you?
what's your name?
Name's Tim. That's
Tim.
all you need to know.
All right, Tim, how would you like to make $200?
Okay, what bodily fluid you need?
I don't need any.
This dude's been given money to be fed on by the sounds of it.
I don't need any.
Alright.
Come with me. There is a place that that looks like it's difficult to get into, and well, I'm willing to bet that you're pretty good at figuring out how to get into places that you don't need to, that you're not supposed to be let into.
He will smirk and then reach up and just slide back the door on the warehouse he's leaning up against.
Yep.
I know a thing or two.
That's what I thought.
All right.
Come with me.
He stands up, all of his bones popping at once.
Uh-huh.
Ah, the Rice Krispie man.
All right.
So
So,
we'll walk back to where everybody else is. I will reach. I will go. I will pull out a couple $100. I'm holding it there. All right, Tim. Do you see that warehouse there?
mhm.
Look at me.
Mhm.
For this, you need to dominate on this word. Enter.
Roll it for me, please.
What's his willpower?
Uh,
Probably not that great.
no. What's the combination for willpower again? My brain is blanking.
Conscience and self-control.
2.
Okay.
This guy has like none of either.
Dice. Command. Oh, wait, that was difficulty 6. Let me roll that again.
Oh,
And I could even be a dick and say, actually, I don't think I ever said oh, yes. My specialty for manipulation is persuasive. So that could be 6 successes.
All right, then.
He will get into that thing no matter what. It don't matter if
So
that
he-
place creeps him out.
He cracks his knuckles, rolls his head, and pops his shoulders. He walks straight to that door.
And that's what, once he's about 15 feet away, quietly to the rest of them, like, we need to back up to a blast radius safe, but still observable location, because that man is going to die.
Simon will comment, I feel like this might be a good step, and looks at him, and I want to use dementation
Oh no.
to lower his emotions.
Okay, no. That's fair. That's fair.
That's a good one. That's
Yep.
actually
So he doesn't get creeped out. That's good. I like
He doesn't
that.
get creeped out, and he's less likely to just run off screaming.
okay. So
Unfortunately, my character's not great at this role. It is charisma empathy.
Versus what? Their willpower?
Humanity.
versus their humanity?
He's got humanity 5.
Okay.
Oh, that's right. Humanity is that thing. Willpower is just your
Empathy.
courage.
Do I get any bonus that
Anyways.
he's being dominated? By chance? Because he's not like entirely in his own mind, anyways.
For the heck of it, subtract 1 from the difficulty.
Anything I
So
can get.
diff 4.
Oh, diff 4.
This poor motherfucker.
He walks
Choose
up with a sense of
success.
purpose, and then as he gets to the door, he's just like, "All right."
For the next hour, his basically blunted or almost completely desensitized.
He
It lasts
For the
that
next hour?
long.
Get
he
ready to take some
Yeah.
bloody camera shots.
he reaches into a pocket and pulls out. He unrolls something and then just starts going to town at the lock.
I am hiding behind the hearse,
YR.
making sure to get like camera shots.
Holding up the cell
YR.
phone like,
Yes.
The text you got was location in all caps.
I deliver it.
Okay.
I give him the GPS pin, like on my phone.
So he takes a crack at that lock for a few minutes, and finally he goes, "Fuck yeah, $200," and just opens the door and walks inside.
I mean, I don't think he's leaving.
Does Simon hear anything like with whatever Auspex 1 is called?
Just splurt.
with enhanced senses.
Yes, with enhanced census. Like, could Simon hear anything
He comes back
after he
out.
walks in? Okay.
He sort of looks around and sees the hearse. Starts walking to the hearse. Yeah, the lock wasn't too bad, but that truck inside there's real big.
Truck
the building?
inside
Yeah.
the building. Yes, that would make sense. Okay, well, thank you. I'm gonna pay up. He did his job. He
Alrighty.
walked out.
He walks right back to where he was sitting before and sits his ass back down.
All right. Well, that's out of viewpoint from what's gonna happen next, so that's fine.
Simon's watching him. It's like,
The
I
sheriff
wonder if
and
I wonder if he's a destructive person.
the sheriff and his
Shit definitely
squad is
doesn't
going to
seem
be on the
great.
way soon. So
Well, we can at least observe, keep an eye on the truck, and make sure that they don't make a run for it.
with that information, she'll also follow up the text. Apparently, there's a large truck inside.
Are we watching the truck inside or outside or both?
I am not walking inside that building.
Okay.
That is how you die.
right.
Si-
I did feel the whole thing was a little anticlimactic when there was no blood spatter, but you know.
I mean, I'll be honest, I was hoping there wasn't going to be, but I understand that too.
Wire, you will get a text that says ETA 10 minutes.
Sheriff will be here in 10.
Simon is on high alert. Like, particularly like making sure to pay attention. Like any noises or like even slight shadows.
It is a tense 10 minutes of just sort of silence hanging in the air. And then, almost as if from nowhere, there is 5 thuds as Destiny and 4 other individuals jump down from the roof.
Wire looks up as they come down.
At the thuds, you'd almost swear that Simon was about to jump to the roof.
Welcome to the party, Destiny.
Guire. Thanks for contacting me. All right, let's shall we? And he just pulls out a Desert Eagle.
Guayar will. Yep, I'm going to. Nah, I'll hold on to that for a bit. It's only less for a number of turns. So, yeah, all right. Guayar says as she just sort of twists the cane and draws the sword.
Simon will comment that one, the doorknob looks like it's been crushed to gain entry, and two, it's been eerily quiet.
All right, good.
Not
good
even
to know.
rodents and pests.
That's indicative of our kind. Okay.
Are you
pulls out a
thinking of?
Glock.
Are you thinking Salubri?
I don't know. I don't know what I'm thinking.
Did you
He
mean
will-
Salubri?
Sorry, I meant the
Sabat?
shadow ones.
Yeah.
The shadow.
La Sombra.
La Sombra was the word that she would have said.
Absolutely understandable confusion.
Always could be Sabat, but it's hard to tell. And La Sombra especially. We'll see.
Supposedly, there's a big truck in there.
All right. All four of you coming? Or just you two? He says, pointing to Guire with the sword and Cat with the Glock.
Don't have any weapons, but I'll run somebody down if I need to.
I also have no weapons, but I can follow behind everyone. Or I can stay back here.
I will pull
Where's
out a
he- where's he
second
gonna be in
Glock
the
and
back?
hold it up for somebody to use.
Mercy grabs it. I feel much better now. Thank you.
Guire produces a dagger. You want it? To loot Simon.
It is better than nothing.
This
And
is
there-
factually true.
Destiny will begin leading you all in a very. He and the four individuals move very SWAT team like. As he gets to the door, two of them break off to go look at the other U-Haul trucks that are just parked beside the building.
Have you ever seen, like, in particular action movies when there is someone of particular importance who is being accompanied by a SWAT team, and so they're just sort of walking full tilt right behind the SWAT team, spreading out in front of them? That's absolutely where Guire's standing right now.
Simon is behind the group and looks very much like a VIP, but walking incredibly quietly.
You
Back of
enter.
the group.
You enter the warehouse, and inside is one of the semi-sized U-Haul trucks. It is absolutely dead silent in here. And looking around, no one is in here. Destiny gives two finger waves at the truck. And one of the individuals goes straight to the back, but has his gun out. There is a horrific grinding noise as the lifting mechanism is just wrenched out of its lock.
I'm keeping a gun trained on my gun trained on the wheel in case it decides to peel out and drive out. Like there's somebody hiding in the driver's.
And he takes two hands and pushes the back door up. Holy shit. Y'all are gonna want to come look at this.
Arrow around the corner
Look.
with the sword held in the defensive stance, just sort of like resting over the arm.
Mercy just clutches the Glock and slowly makes her way around the side of the truck.
As you all come around the corner to see what is actually in the back of the truck, there is a 10-foot long, 5-foot wide wooden coffin.
Shit.
Beg pardon.
I take about 7 steps backwards.
Well, this might be an idiotic decision, but Destiny gets up into the truck and then shoves the lid back. He looks a little confused. Reaches in and pulls up a handful of black soil. And that's where we're going to end for the night.
Okay.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Adios.
Goodbye.